We are back talking pinball and more specifically Harry Potter because, well, why not? It is the newest game that is about to be released, probably the biggest title. But we also have some new updates because not only has JJP released the CE artwork, but we potentially have a leaked playfield image. And that's what we're going to talk about, whether or not it's real or not. So let's get it. Now, first, we're going to hit the CE artwork because boys and girls, that has been a huge either swing. Either you really like it or you really hate it. Doesn't seem to be an in between. And we've got to say, what we've seen for the CE compared to the Wizard Edition are two worlds basically apart. You have the CE, which is kind of more geared towards the books, and then you have the Wizard Edition, which is geared towards the movies. And either people that really love the movies love the Wizard Edition, and the ones that love the books seem to love the CE. Now the question is what is that CE going to look like in person? Because I have a feeling that once we see that CE in person, it is going to be freaking beautiful. Now, with that being said, hopefully Friday we are going to get to see a CE, and I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. So Jason from Classic Game Rooms, he's been my distributor for a number of years now. He has invited us to unbox his CE when it arrives, and we're bringing you guys along for the journey, and hopefully it's going to be a good one. But now on to the image that has really gotten leaked, but has some controversy behind it of whether or not it's real or not, because I've seen it go both ways. Some people said it was AI generated. Others said, no, it's real. Let's just look at it. Now, I believe the image is real, and there's a couple reasons why. I've seen a lot of AI generated pictures, and generally they are way off. They can be somewhat similar, but they'll generally be some really crazy, weird stuff. There are a couple things in here that I find a little weird that would make me question it, but at the same time, there's some other things in here that I feel like, no, that's really JJP type of stuff. And I don't think AI would create it, but maybe. Now, looking at this playfield, if this is legitimately it, we have a lot going on. Now, first off, if we start down at the apron, we have what we see is really the artwork from the CE sides is really spewing into the cabinet and onto what we see on the apron. Kind of has that same vibe, same color variance. So it really spills into there. Then we step up to the main playfield where honestly, it is very much movie-esque to an extent where we have Harry and Hermione and Ron. There is a good bit of things in here. Seems like a lot of mix. I've been trying to study and figure this thing out just for craps and giggles, and there are still some questionable things. The first thing I've got questionable wise is if it is real, why does each shot, I say each shot, there is one shot that only has a single arrow, but all the other shots seem to have a double arrow pointing up towards them. And I don't know why we would have two insert arrows pointing up towards each of those shots. I find that to be a little odd. Now, as I've been studying this as much as I can and trying to figure this thing out, I guess we'll start from right and go left. And we're going to start with that shooter lane. For me, it looks like you take the shooter lane to a wire form that crosses over to what I would assume would be the sorting hat area. Because if you look to where it crosses down, where that gold piece is just below the staircase, there is four inserts that are house colored. And I would assume when you shoot into that from the start, that would be where you would be sorted into whatever house you're going to be in. But I do find the question of you have that shot, but then just two shots to the left over, you have the same emblem there, the same four house colors. So it does make me question is why would you have that there? But anyway, back to the shots. We're now going to come from there. We're going to start at the far right down at the bottom. What you see there looks like a shot just that goes to the backside of the flipper. Now, the flipper also looks like it lifts up for a shot there. So I would assume you'd have two shots going in that point. Looks like to me that's going to be towards the bank. And I think there is a sculpt there of a lantern. I'm thinking it's a lantern because I think I remember when they went into Gringotts and went down into the actual vault area. They had lanterns and stuff. I'm assuming that's why that's there. But then we step to the next shot over, which to me, I think is going to be an orbit, but I don't know if the orbit, I think the orbit goes, I don't know. I've been struggling with this. I think, like, I feel like it's an orbit that either loops back around to the light blue area there and back around, or I think that's where it loops back around. The more I keep looking at it, I feel like that's where it loops around to, is it goes around the backside, back down that. But either way, I believe that's going to be an orbit that wraps back around. Whether it comes out at the light green or the dark green, that's another story. I kind of been a little conflicted on this. Was the more I keep looking at it. But then we step over to the left. This is the same shot that we was talking about a while ago with the sorting hat. It looks like it's going to be a scoop, is what I'm gathering, or it's going to drop down to a scoop there. Is what I would assume that is. Then you have a middle shot here that I'm not 100% sure where it goes. It's very difficult to tell. For me, at least, it is where it's actually going. I don't know if it goes up into some pop bumpers. I don't really see a pop bumper, but I say I don't. I kind of wonder if that isn't a pop bumper underneath the car, potentially with a sculpted piece on it. Really, really hard to tell from the image, but needless to say, it looks like that shot goes up through there. Then we have the shot left of that, which goes up, it looks like around this wire, or I shouldn't say wire form, but this um, ramp here that loops back around to the right, which looks like it splits two directions. So it's going to divert either right or left. And if it goes right, it looks like it goes to where there is a wand, which then drops down to where it looks like a cauldron. So it makes me think spells and potions are going to be done there. Could be completely wrong. Not sure how that's going to do, if the ball is going to drop down. Um, I don't think it's going to drop two in the cauldron, but I feel like it's going to drop down the wand near it, and then it's going to, you may do a potion or something of that nature, and then or a spell, and then it's going to shoot back out. Now, where it goes from there, I can't really tell. It looks, it's I don't know. It's really tough. I don't know if that may go through. I feel like it may kind of go back around through the back box and maybe over to the Quidditch field, because it kind of looks like it could go up and maybe back around the backside back there and back around this wire form. But at the same sense, I don't know if it would make. I mean, it kind of looks like it would come here and drop into here. I don't know. It's really really tough to tell. But really interested to see that. But then you have where if it went down the left side, it looks like it goes to a staircase, which we know from the movies is basically a diverter, which I kind of think this would be, is going to be a diverter, and it could, I would think, either drop down on the play field, maybe drop back down the center section. It looks like too, it could also feed it over to this left wire form here, which I actually looks like it feeds down and over to that left as far side over there. Now I can't tell if that just drops down that outer lane, which I'm thinking it does from the looks of it. So the staircase could divert you over to there. But I just noticed that it looks like it goes underneath that actual ramp that goes up to the Quidditch field and drops down there. Then I see we have a shot that is dark green, which makes me think Voldemort, and it looks like it's a tight shot. And where that shot goes, I'm not 100% sure. I would think maybe it kind of wraps back around to maybe the center area over here. But needless to say, it looks like the shot goes up through there. And I don't know. Very curious on it. And then we have the shot left of that, which is that light blue shot. Now, this one's kind of been struggling too, because I've been thinking either it can loop back around to the red, or it could go up and there could be a target back up in here, and then it drops back down this left side. Because to me, it looks like this left side is an entranceway back down to really the out lane, but we'll get to that in a second, whether it's really out lane or how it really works. But it looks like it goes up in there. If it doesn't, it will loop back around. But there's also a captive ball, it looks like right there. It looks to be that we have a captive ball just left of that with a shot left of that that's going to be hit from that upper flipper, upper mid flipper. Now, that may be the shot that actually loops back around and back down because you can't, there's no way to hit that shot from the other direction. And it definitely looks like it feeds down. Then we get to some stand ups, it looks like 3 stand ups right in there. And then down to the out lane. That left out lane is a little interesting. Now, this out lane is really confusing me a little bit. The more I keep looking at it, it looks like the left portion of the outer lane has a kick over that kicks it back to the flipper, but then you have the one that would technically normally be your in lane, looks like it almost drains down, but you could possibly nudge it over and get it captured there. I haven't really paid much attention to King Kong. Somebody mentioned it looked like how the leap of faith is on King Kong, so it may be similar to that. Um, I don't know. The outlanes on this game look a little different to me. I see even on the side with Voldemort. I don't know if there is, it looks like a split there. So I don't know if you can nudge it back over, or um, maybe there's a. It's hard to tell what that is, but needless to say, it looks very interesting. I'm really excited to see what's going to come of this. Now I'm curious to know whether or not you think this photo is real. I know we're gonna know in a day or 2. Well, a day and some change, we're gonna know for a fact. I'm really torn. I feel like it is real because I feel like the hot rails and stuff, I don't know how well AI would do that. The playfield seems like it's could be realistic to me, like, it looks like it could lay out properly. There's also back there, I feel like there's something going on where that ramp goes back around. If this is real, I feel like there's something going on back there. Kinda think there's, like, a magnet back there. It makes me wonder, is there a broom handle back there, a Nimbus 2000? That the ball is gonna get stuck to potentially, and it's gonna take it over to the Quidditch field. I don't know, wild speculation, but it's something I've been thinking of and looking at and just I'm excited. But, let me know down below, guys, are you excited for this? And, let me know if you think this is real or not, 'cause I am curious what other people think. I've seen a couple say, "No, it's not, it's AI generated," but I don't know. It's kinda a little convincing to an extent, but we're going to end this video off here. I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned because, like I said, Friday, hopefully, we're going to be getting to unbox a CE with Jason at Classic Game Rooms. And check him out if you're looking for a new game, for any pre orders, anything like that. Hit him up. He is the best in the business. But for this one, we're going to end it off here. We'll see you on the next one.